All right, welcome back to the best damn training channel on YouTube. I have traveled from Austin to Florida, and I've been looking for a track in Tallahassee where I'm at right now. I found a track, but I'm not supposed to be here. I walked past a sign that says not open to the public, and I'm just gonna run out here until I get kicked out or until I finish my workout, whatever happens first. So there's already a couple people that have drove by on golf carts. They're looking at me funny, like they don't know if I'm supposed to be here or not. I'm just gonna act like I am until somebody tells me I'm not. So we're gonna try to get as much done today as we can. The goal for today is to just get some volume on some short acceleration work. Normally this would be my sled acceleration stuff. So I've been doing like a heavy sled, light sled, unresisted acceleration. I don't have access to a sled today. There's no hills around me really that I could substitute that for. So what I'm gonna do is just 10s, 20s, and probably some 30s. Probably do 2 to 3 reps on everything. Maybe do a little bit of jumping or some bounds, something like that, and then call it quits for the day. So rather than doing nothing because I don't have access to equipment, I'm just gonna do something else and try to get some work in today. So I'm gonna get through my warm up. I don't know why I wore a long sleeve shirt either. It is already 70 something degrees, and this is much warmer than I've been used to, but I'm in this little shaded area. Plus I hid the camera off to the side. You guys can't see this, but there's a little like shack building here that's kind of blocking the camera's view from anybody that kind of drives by on these golf carts. So then they won't see the camera and be even more suspicious on why I'm supposed to be out here or not. I'm going through some of my warm-up drills. But today I feel like is a good example. And like, I get a lot of people who are looking at buying my programs or have bought my program and they don't have access to a sled. And they want to know, you know, how can they substitute that? Well, the first thing I always say is if you have access to a hill and you can do some hill sprints instead, that's a great option. Not gonna be exactly the same, but still gonna get some resisted benefit out of doing a hill sprint. But if you don't have access to a hill, you don't have a sled, just doing the same sprint volume and the same distance is not going to be a bad thing to do. So if you're supposed to be doing 10 meters with a sled and you don't have a sled and you're just doing 10-meter accelerations, you're still going to get quality work in. You're still going to be working on sprinting, which that is a stimulus that you cannot replace regardless. So just getting out and doing the same thing without that sled is going to be a great session for you today. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. But I think one thing that's going to be on my side is school is out. So this is like Monday around 8 o'clock right now. Nobody's in school, it's out for the summer. So even if people are driving by and wondering if I'm supposed to be here or not, I think that's gonna be a plus because no, school's not going on. They're not gonna worry about some dude out here sprinting while there's classes going on. So I do have that on my side. I think there's a little field off to the side over there. There's some kids who look like they're working out. That might be like the football team or something. So that also is a benefit because they see people over there working out. They see me working out. Hopefully I just get lumped into, oh, he's just somebody that's training for the summer as well. But the plan for the sprint work is I'll use probably the 10s as the warm up. So I'll do a couple of sets on that at like 90, 95% just to kind of get some intensity in prior to doing full blown sprints. And then my volume would be at that 20 to 30 mark. So I've already got 20 meters marked out. I don't know if you guys can see, I got a blue water bottle down there. And then I'll mark out 30 meters and then probably do 3 to 4 reps total. So maybe 2 20s, 3 30s, maybe do 2 20s, 2 30s. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. The heat's probably gonna get me a little bit and make me feel a little bit more fatigued than normal, but we'll just play it by ear as we're going here, see how we feel. Another thing is these outdoor tracks, this is like one of those spray surfaces. So the indoor track that I have in Iceland is a Mondo surface, which if you guys aren't familiar with that, in the world of track and field, Mondo is supreme. Like that's the standard, that's the gold standard when it comes to track surfaces. The spray down is nice. Sometimes they can be really hard. Sometimes they can feel a little bit soft. This one feels like it's a little bit softer of a spray surface, but that could just be because of the shoes. But it feels okay. The track that Tim and I ran on when we did our sprint session last week was a spray surface, but it's old and it's run down and it's beat up. That track is hard. It feels like we were running on concrete almost, but that track is fast. Like whatever it is, every time I go out there with Tim, he hits a new PB. That track is not comfortable. The day after that sprint session, the arches of my feet were sore. My heels felt a little bit beat up just because of the surface on that. But overall, it was an incredible session. This track feels much better than that. I don't have anything specific that I'm gonna be timing today. I just kind of want to get meters in and then get out. There's another guy over here in a red t-shirt staring at me, looking at me like, what is this bald white dude doing out on my track? We're trying to get some work done before we get kicked off. But there is a big ass sign on that fence over there that says not open to the public. If somebody comes out here and asks me, I'm gonna act like I didn't see that sign. I'm hoping the grounds crew, the maintenance worker, whoever's been driving around, respects the grind. See somebody working out and just like, nah, I'm not gonna mess with that guy. He's not messing around with anything, he's just working out. Tell you what though, it's too warm to be wearing a long sleeve right now. Being that today's Monday, we're gonna get some sprint work in. I do have a plan to do some max velo work for sprinting on Thursday. And I got a different track that I think I'll be able to run at, because there's like a run club that runs in the morning and I've been invited to use the track at the same time. So I don't think I'll get kicked off when I do that. Today is the only questionable day. And then there's gonna be a pretty dope gym that I found. I think it's called Barbell, Capital City Barbell. I'm gonna go there tomorrow. They look like they have a weightlifting platform. Plus they got a bunch of powerlifting equipment, so I can do all my sessions there for my lower body. Upper body, I think I'm gonna go to this other gym I found that has a basketball court and try to do some jumping exercises out on the court, shoot around a little bit, do my upper body work, maybe do another dunk video, see how the legs are feeling. Tomorrow's gonna be a heavier lower body day, so I don't know if the legs will be there after that day, but we'll see. That's just kind of the tentative plan for the week as of right now. So today's video is probably not gonna be the most exciting video to watch, just because I gotta keep the camera in one spot so I'm not drawing more attention to me, and I'm gonna be doing just some short sprints. But this is one of those things where it's like, I told you guys I was gonna be traveling. I wanna stay in the habit of filming, even if they might not be the most exciting sessions to be filmed, especially after last week. The training session with Tim, the sprint session, the dunk session, like last week was an incredible week of training. I love Austin. Plus I'm going back out to Austin next week to go to the Coach 'em Up conference, which I'm looking forward to that a lot. So that'll be another opportunity to get some cool videos in. Man, I'm gonna be sweating my ass off today. Good thing I found this little shaded area, because the shade feels cool. Every time I make it out to that sun, it gets about 10 degrees hotter. Another card that's in my back pocket is the bobsled card. A lot of times when I've traveled before, I've jumped onto fields, tracks, maybe something that's not open to the public, and people ask me what I'm doing. I will pull that bobsled card out. Even though I'm retired, I will 100% lie to their face. Be like, I'm on the bobsled team, I'm just training, I'm in town visiting for a little bit. I saw this track on Google Maps, so I decided to try to come get a workout in. A lot of times that works as well, because people think it's cool that a Team USA athlete showed up to do a training session. Plus it just lets them, I think, get a little bit more comfortable being like, okay, this guy's actually out here training, he's not fucking around. He's just gonna get some sprints in and then leave. So it makes them feel a little bit more comfortable. So if I have to, I will lie to somebody. And I got these flies all over the place. But I will lie to somebody and straight up tell them I'm on the bobsled team still, even though I retired 3 years ago. That's my back pocket card. But I'm just about at the time here I'm gonna put on my spikes. Normally I would be doing my like standing triple jumps and stuff. I'm more concerned about getting my sprints done than anything else. So I'm gonna try to get my sprint work done, and then if I feel good at the end, maybe I'll add some jumping. Otherwise, I'll just add some jumping into tomorrow's lower body session. But I'm gonna do a couple hard takeoffs here, put the spikes on, we'll knock off some easy 10s, and then we'll do some 20s and 30s. Got another golf cart driving by. Everybody act normal. We're supposed to be here. Man, I'm just giving out tips for y'all to jump fences and sprint on tracks and do stuff. Another thing is, if somebody's driving by and they're staring at you, don't look back. Most often, they will not engage in conversation if you just act like you're supposed to be here. And if you just mind your own business, you don't make eye contact, you don't ignore them. Like if they say something back. But like avoid eye contact at all costs. Just continue working out. They're gonna drive by like, oh, he must have permission to be here. So that's another tip. Avoid eye contact at all times. We're gonna put on the spikes now. The plan, I'm gonna do probably 2 hard 10s, say 90-95%. Kind of knock the rust off the legs a little bit from yesterday's travel day. After the 10s, do 2 20s minimum. If I'm feeling good, then I'll go to 30s and I'll do 2 30s. See how those feel. If everything's still feeling good, I might bust out another 30. I might drop it back down to 20 and do another 20. The volume overall is a little bit less than what I've been doing. Obviously, I don't have the sled, so I got to change this session up a little bit. If I can get some 20s in, get some 30s in, feel good, sprint a little bit, then overall, today's going to be a successful day. All right, so 10 meters is from this line to that first white line. I'm going to do a couple here, 90-95% efforts, and then we'll extend this out to 20s, start busting off some 20s here. All right, I think I feel as good as I'm gonna feel. So we're gonna do some 20s. For those on screen, this blue Yeti that I got, coach him up on there. Shout out Tim, shout out coach him up. That blue Yeti right there is 20 meters. It's actually a little bit more than 20 meters because I had to measure it off in feet. So it's 66 feet, slightly above 20 meters, but we're gonna do a minimum of 2, and then I'll measure off another 33 feet past that, and we'll do 3 30s or 3 30 plus meter sprints, see how that feels, and then that's probably gonna be it. Feel good, but I feel slow. All right, so I'm gonna measure off another 33 feet past this right here, set up for the 30s, knock off a couple 30s. Oh, we got a walker. Somebody else who's out here. You're getting after it today. Huh? I said you're getting after it today.
Oh, I'm trying. I try to get there 4 miles a day.
4 miles?
Yeah.
Wow. I just do a couple short sprints and that's enough for me. All right, change of plans. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a 30. If the 30 feels good, I'm gonna do a 40. If the 40 feels good, I'm gonna do a 50. So I'll extend it out 10 meters up to 50. 50 will be the maximum I'll sprint today because I haven't really done anything over 50 for a while. But I'm gonna do, if this 30 feels good and I do a 40 and that 40 doesn't feel good, I'll drop it back down to 30 and do another rep at 30. So we'll keep adding 10 meters on these reps up to 50. And then regardless if the 50 feels good or not, we're just gonna be done at that 50. But if I bump it up to 40 and it doesn't feel good, like I feel slow or I'm just tired or whatever it might be, we'll drop it back down to 30, we'll do another rep at 30, and then we'll probably call it quits after that. All right, that felt good. So we'll do a 40 after this. I don't feel fast, but it doesn't feel bad. Like I still feel like I'm hitting my positions well. I think it's just the surface. I'm not used to running on these tracks, so it just feels different. It still feels good. Like I'm able to kind of spring off the ground. Still feel like I've got some energy to put in a high effort at that distance. So 30 is good. We'll bump it to 40 here. If 40 is good, we'll bump it to 50. And then I have a feeling 50 is gonna kill me. Especially, I mean, it's getting warm. I'm already sweating my ass off. So we'll see how this next 40 goes here. A sprint session just ain't a sprint session unless you got one person walking, right? I'm starting to feel like I'm back in Iceland again. We'll go 50. Couple minute break. We're gonna run a 50. I'm gonna go invest in some bug spray because if I don't and I'm outside, I feel like I'm gonna get eaten alive here. Hopefully today's video, all the shots and everything have been decent. Like I said, I'm trying to just not cause too much attention to myself by having a camera posted up on the track while I'm doing the sprint, so I'm not able to move it around. I'll tell you what, man, the love that you guys have been showing me on this channel is very much appreciated. We're over 8,000 something subscribers now. I think we're close to 8,100, which is pretty nuts. The messages I've been getting on Instagram, the people who have just enjoyed watching the content. I'm getting a lot of messages recently, specifically saying that like my channel on YouTube has helped people want to get back into training like an athlete again and doing sprints and jumping around, not just doing the normal like push pull legs type split and that kind of stuff. Is the reason why I love doing this channel, is because I feel like the way that I train is the way that everyone should be training. Obviously I'm biased towards that, but I'm allowed to be biased towards it because I've had a lot of success with it with myself. I've had a lot of success with this other clients who have bought programs, who have finished programs and shown me the progress that they make. Like this is longevity training, right? Like I'm 39. We discussed this on a video a couple days ago. I'm turning 40 this October, and longevity to me, my definition of longevity is continuing doing what you love for as long as you can. And I love to do sprints and I love to do plyos. I love to jump. I love to dunk basketballs. I love to lift heavy. So longevity for me is continuously pursuing those things. Now, continuous progression is not always going to be there. I'm not going to continuously get stronger and faster as my life goes on. It's probably going to increase a little bit, and then there's going to be a point where everything starts to go down. But pursuing that is kind of the goal of longevity. Longevity doesn't mean that you have to be able to sprint when you're 60, but I think having that goal is one of the top tier goals that you could have in terms of longevity. But if longevity to you is you want to be able to run a half marathon when you're 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, then you pursue that goal and you run those half marathons and you're training towards that. That's training for longevity. I don't think there's a specific thing when it comes to training for longevity. The one thing I feel like it isn't is a regression. And a lot of people have this training for longevity as a regression from training. It's like, oh, I'm not going to train as heavy. I'm just going to train for longevity. I'm going to do lightweight, higher repetitions. They stop chasing intensity and just start chasing the feeling of feeling good at all times, which if you have trained for any period of time, you know that training for longevity is not about feeling good, right? You're not going to wake up and feel fresh every single day. If you push the limits and you train hard and you progress things, you're gonna have days where you're feeling incredible. You're gonna have days where you're feeling really sore and down, but that's just the curve of training. That's what life is. Life is going up and down. The training is gonna be going up and down. I think longevity is pursuing goals with a passion, chasing something that you've set out for yourself. It's not regressing things, thinking that if I do too much, I'm going to get injured. That's not longevity. That's, if anything, that's fragility. You're just preparing yourself to be a more fragile individual as life goes on. I think as life goes on, you need to be able to prepare yourself to handle more stress. Train harder, lift heavier, sprint faster, jump higher. That's longevity to me. Let's get after this 50. I'm pumped up right now. Let's go. I'll tell you what, that last rep felt pretty damn good. Probably the best rep of the day. Gave myself a little longevity pep talk and fucking sent it. I don't know how fast it was, but it felt good. And that's all that matters for today. So I appreciate y'all for watching. If you like what you see here, like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe. New videos, what, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week? I don't know. It's depending on the schedule here. But again, I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.